Hello, grade 3. This is our reading lesson, author's purpose. I'm sure you already know what author's purpose is, so we are just going to revise very quickly, okay? So, why do authors write? First of all, you should know who is the author. Who cannot remember author? It's a person who writes the story. So, why do authors write? That is author's purpose. The reason why the authors write. Now, we have three main reasons why the authors write: to persuade us, to inform us, and to entertain us. Again, to persuade, inform, and entertain. It's easy to remember because when you look at the beginning words, persuade begins with P, inform begins with I, and entertain begins with E. Pie. It makes the short word pie. The first three letters make the word pie. So you can remember persuade, inform, and entertain. These are three main reasons why the authors write the stories. Now I will revise each one of them. To persuade. When the author writes a story to persuade you, he is trying to get you to think or act in a specific way. He wants you to agree on some topic. He wants you to do something the way he thinks it's the right way to do. We do persuasive writing these days, so we know what means persuade. You are persuading your teacher to postpone the quiz or test because you think it's the right thing to do. When you're persuading someone, you're giving good reasons why that person should do what you want them to do. And you use some clue words like should, must, could, would, good idea, and many, many others. So this means to persuade, to make the reader agree with you with some topic. Now, persuasive writing can be found in books, in magazines, in brochures, in newspapers, or online on billboards, advertisements that you can see on the television. In newspapers, you can see sometimes they are persuading you to come and see something new or buy some new product. These are also persuasive things. Okay, to inform. When the authors write to inform, what do? They giving you lots of information in the text. They give you lots of facts and information in their writing. Lots of facts and lots of information. You can find informative paragraphs in the books, like your reading textbook, science textbook, social studies textbook, language art textbook, and math textbooks. These are books where we get lots of information and lots of facts. Sometimes you can also find informative paragraph in the newspapers because they are informing you about what is happening in the world. Or you can read some informative writing, expository texts, where people give you information on different kinds of topics. Entertain. When the authors write to entertain, the reason why they write it is to make you have fun. Entertain means to have fun. So when they write to entertain, they usually write stories which are nice, funny. The stories have characters and places and events that happen in the story. Sometimes the story can be real, and sometimes story can be don't have to be real. Sometimes the stories are made up. We call these pieces fictions, made up stories. Please do not forget the most important thing of entertaining story is that it has characters and setting, and sometimes, not sometimes, but most of the time, the characters speak to each other, they talk to each other, so they have dialogue between each other. For example, books like fairy tales and tall tales and books of jokes. Also, sometimes in the newspapers, you will find entertaining pieces. For example, comics and the books that you are reading as well. They have lots of entertaining stories in there. Sometimes the stories can be funny, but even sometimes it can be sad and sometimes even scary. So many different reasons for entertaining. Not only funny stories, but also scary or sad stories are stories that entertain us. When you read a story that is entertaining, that story is the author keeps you like you want to know what is going to happen. You want to read it until the end. So that story is, you are eager to read it. It's entertaining. Okay, this book was written to persuade. Look at this. Why you should recycle. I believe that that book will tell you the reasons why it is good to recycle and keep the planet Earth clean. So this story or this book will be written to to persuade you to recycle. This story, Frog Life Cycle, will mostly or most probably inform you about the life cycle of a frog. So it will inform you. Uh, Look at this story. It says the butterfly that learned to read. We know that butterflies don't learn how to read, so the story will be imaginary or fantasy, which means it will be a story that will entertain us. Here we have ocean creatures. What do you think is the author's purpose for writing this story? To inform us about different kinds of ocean creatures, to give us information, inform. What about this one? Bear's adventures at school. What do you think? What is the author's purpose for writing this story? Bear's adventures at school. It is to entertain because bears do not go to school. It will be a fantasy. So, to entertain. And this one, why you should graduate. Yes, it is to persuade you, giving us reasons why should you study hard until you graduate and become and get a diploma, become old one and get the degree to get a good job. So when you see the clue word should, that clue word is indicating that the author is persuading us. Okay, let's go. Now everyone open up your books on page 361. We will read a story and then we will complete these details at the bottom of the page. Ready? Okay, let's read. Philadelphia is a wonderful place to visit. It is a beautiful city with lots of history. The Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution were signed in Philadelphia. You can tour Independence Hall where these documents were written. The downtown area has several beautiful parks. You can sit in a park and hear live music while you eat ice cream and watch people. Philadelphia has theaters, concert halls, great restaurants, and stores. You can always find something interesting to do in Philadelphia. If you want to read it one more time, you can read it before you will continue this page. I'm going to help you to fill it in. Okay, fill in the graphic organizer to tell the author's purpose and support your response. Then answer the question. The author's purpose for writing this story is to persuade the readers. The author is trying to persuade us. He's trying to tell us to do what? He's trying to persuade the readers to do what? What is your answer? Well, if you read the first sentence carefully, it says here, Philadelphia is a wonderful place to visit. So, what author wants to wants us to do? He is persuading us to do what? To visit Philadelphia. So, write it down. Author's purpose is to persuade readers to visit Philadelphia. Visit Philadelphia. Write it down. If you need a time for your writing, please pause the video and then continue. Now, can you find a fact from the article that proves the author is trying to persuade us? How do you know which sentence or which sentences, because we have many, choose at least 3 sentences that prove that author is persuading us to go and visit Philadelphia. Let's see this one. It is a beautiful city with lots of history. Is this sentence persuading us to go to Philadelphia? If you will hear that it's a beautiful city with lots of history, would you be persuaded to go there? Yes, you would be. So you can write this sentence if you want to. If you don't want to, you can write another one. Let's read this one. The Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution were signed in Philadelphia. Is this sentence persuading us to go to Philadelphia? It is, but not that strongly, because it just gives us information that the Declaration of Independence and U.S. Constitution were signed in Philadelphia. It's a fact from article, but not persuasive very much. You can tour Independence Hall where these documents were written. What do you think? If you will read this sentence, would this sentence persuade you that you should go to Philadelphia? You can tour, you can take a bus, and you can go to Independence Hall, and you can see these documents in there, Declaration of Independence and U.S. Constitution. Do you think that this sentence is persuading us to go to Philadelphia and see the Independence Hall? Maybe. It's okay. We can write it. It's a good one. What about this one? The downtown area has several beautiful parks. Do you think that this sentence is persuading us to go to Philadelphia when someone will tell you downtown area has several beautiful parks? Would you be like, oh yeah, I have to go and see it? Yeah, I would. I would love to see that park. So yes, this is another detail or fact, because you can go and see it on your own and see it with your own eyes that there are parks in Philadelphia. So you can write it down here if you want to. Or you can write any other fact. You can sit in a park and hear live music while you eat ice cream and watch people. Do you think that that would persuade you to go there? That you could sit in the park and enjoy music and eat ice cream and watch people? Yeah, that would be cool, right? If you went to the park and listen to the music and eat ice cream and watch people, that's a good thing to do. You would be persuaded to go there. So that's another detail. We have too many now, so you can choose which one do you want. I like also that one. Philadelphia has theaters, concert halls, great restaurants, and stores. It's a fact. You can go to theater, you can watch some movies, you can watch the plays, concert halls, you can listen to some famous bands, great restaurants, and amazing stores. So also this one is a persuasive fact. You can always find something interesting to do in Philadelphia. So that sentence, it is just telling us that really you can find something to do in Philadelphia. So we have lots of details or facts from articles that persuade us to go to Philadelphia. You can choose whichever you want. This one or this one. That's number 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences. You can choose 3 of them only. Now, do you think that this story also informs us about Philadelphia a little bit? Yes, it does. Sometimes the author purpose of the story doesn't have to be only one. Sometimes the authors write for more than one reason. So this story is to persuade us to go there and visit Philadelphia, but it also gives information about Philadelphia. Do you think the author accomplished his or her purpose? Did he persuade you? I think he did. Why? Because after I read that article, I wouldn't mind to really go and see Philadelphia, or at least I would Google and have a look what it looks like in there. So yes, he did accomplish his purpose because I am interested to find out more about Philadelphia and maybe one day go and visit. Okay, thank you for your hard work, and see you again. Bye.